This with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like chemo. And give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on a brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden. It's a war going on outside. Make you put your hands on your head like the Macarena. That's why I gotta watch my demeanor. You know they locking up blacks and Latinos. It's the same old game, ain't nothing really changed but the mileage on the meter of the Beamer. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. He shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like chemo. And give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on a brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I I ain't been clean since eating. It's a war going on outside, make you put your hands on your head like the Mclaren. That's why I gotta watch my demeanor. You know they locking up blacks and Latinos. It's the same old game, ain't nothing really changed but the mileage on the meter of the beamer. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto, and expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo, mi gente must really need Jesus. He said real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy, too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like chemo. And give an F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on a brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto, and expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo, mi gente must really need Jesus. He said real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since eating. It's a war going on outside, make you put your hands on your head like the Macarena. That's why I gotta watch my demeanor. You know they locking up blacks and Latinos. It's the same old game, ain't nothing really changed but the mileage on the meter of the beamer. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto, and expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo, mi gente must really need Jesus. He said real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy, too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, it's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy, too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do this with...
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the first week one live stream Sunday morning, 11 a.m. We're back, another season, and Anthony is in a car, traveling per usual. Sam traveling per usual. So, a little bit of technical difficulties to start out here. We're in mid-season form. That's what we provide here. That's what the people come for. We've got questions rolling in the chat. Start dropping your questions ASAP, and we will get to those. Before that, we got to shout out our sponsor, Owners Box Fantasy. They're sponsoring all of our podcasts this season. If you have never played or heard of Owners Box Fantasy, they're a new way to play fantasy sports. They used to do focus primarily on the weekly stuff. They're hopping into the daily fantasy realm. And you can get not only a $500 deposit match by using promo code Karma at ownersbox.online, but you can get a free entry into their 100K prize pool GPP today. I've built some lineups for that. I'm going to build quite a bit more after this stream before lock. So I'll probably end up with like 30, 40, 50 lineups in that. Really excited. It's super flex, which is really cool in my opinion. You don't have to worry about defense. You can play two quarterbacks. Don't have to play two quarterbacks. It's whatever you want. The roster positions are a little bit different. There's two flexes and then a super flex. I think it's really cool. And I'm really excited that we partnered up with them. We'll be providing a ton of content for them throughout the season. I have an article dedicated solely to Owners Box on our website right now, dfscover.com. You can view that right now. And yeah, we're here. Anthony's in this car, so I don't know how good his reception is going to be. I'll see if he can talk here a little bit. Anthony, how you feeling about the week one slate? If you can give me some analysis here.
Good. Can you hear me first off?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. Yes.
Good. Yeah, real quick, Owners Box, shout out to them. I got about 33 lineups on Owners Box. I love the format. Like I said, we've been talking about it really the last couple of weeks, so make sure to get your entries in there. Definitely some different strategies as well. And you mentioned the deposit bonus. Um, yeah, I like the first slate this week. I think it's, we'll talk position by position too, but we all know there's going to be some concentration on, the Jalen Hurts. I think that's where a lot of the chalk's going to be for cash games, on all platforms. But I think there are some spots edge. Um,
All right, Anthony's cutting out a little bit. I don't know if he's still talking, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dive into these questions. So CJ in the chat says, "Can Anthony stop zooming in his BlackBerry?" I don't, I don't think he has control over that. CJ also says he has 200 speed internet, so he can hop in. CJ will be in contact maybe, but I'm gonna start rapid fire answering these questions here. So we'll lead us up here. I see some familiar names in the chat as well. Texas Squad, Kevin, Dewan, CJ, Luke, our NASCAR guys in the chat. So if you guys want your DFS questions, season long, whatever, answered, drop them down. I'm gonna start going through these. First question that I see: FanDuel, Damien Pierce over Mike Davis. Yes. So I don't know what the Ravens are going to do at running back today. Obviously, they have Mike Davis. Obviously, they have Kenyon Drake. There were some reports that came out that they wanted Kenyon Drake to kind of be the lead back, but he joined their team, not very long ago. So I don't know how well they can implement that. Mike Davis has been there, for the whole preseason. But in general, I just think Lamar is going to run a lot. And I really don't want to be invested in that Ravens backfield today. So I do think Damien Pierce. I have Damien Pierce in my main lineup on FanDuel. Anthony, if you can hear me, do you like Damien Pierce today?
And I did last night. I do think he probably is the play on FanDuel, for cash games, if you can hear me. But
Yeah,
the
you're good.
main
You're good.
the main lineup I'm making on FanDuel is kind of like it's a hybrid approach this week. I'm not really making a true cash game roster, but I will say you can get JT and Pierce in your main lineup because I was toying with the cash game build just for some of our subscribers, and that is absolutely the optimal route on FanDuel. I don't trust it on DraftKings though, Ben. I don't trust Pierce like in a main lineup, like a main GPP single entry or cash game builds on DraftKings. I just don't know. I don't think he's going to be involved in the passing game. I think Rex Burkhead will be involved. So there's just not as much value there. And I don't trust the Mike Davis thing. I think it's like a cute scenario. I mean, I have been a couple lineups on DraftKings, just like dart flyers, but I'm not I'm not playing those games this week. I'm kind of sticking with what I know, and I'm going to tweak in my volatility in range of outcomes with the wide receiver and tight end position this week, because I think there's a lot of good running back options.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you need to drop down that low on DraftKings. Kid from Akron, Tristan, some other familiar names in the chat. So straight up picks for Packers versus Vikings, Jags, Commanders, Panthers, Browns. I think for me, I bet the Vikings money line at plus odds a few days ago. They've actually moved their favorite in the game now with some of those Packers injuries. So I like the Vikings, and I think I like the Browns. I don't know. That Jags Commanders game I think can go either way. So I don't know. It's kind of like betting on the unknown, right? Like I think Jacksonville could be a little bit better this season, but the Commanders are at home. But I don't really like the bet on Carson Wentz. But I do ultimately think if I was just straight up picking, I would go Vikings, Commanders, Browns. Anthony, do you agree with those picks?
Vikings for sure. I'm on board with you, although I didn't bet it. The Browns game is just super interesting. Obviously, we're Cleveland homers, but I don't know if I trust that game from a betting perspective. But I do lean the Browns. I was actually looking at our BetKarma.com predictions, which is a new tool that we have, and you can see the simulations run 10,000 times for all these games. And I did look at that Jacksonville game because I was kind of interested, and we're projecting Jacksonville to cover that spread. So, again, we're really kind of going with the data there. But to Ben's point, I'm not really touching it. My favorite game of the week, besides some of the chalk games, I mean, there's a lot of road favorites, which is scary. Obviously, we know that doesn't usually end well. But I really do like the KC game. I like KC, straight up in all formats. I think you can get them at 5.5. I mean, they were like pretty early, you know. That's what I like a lot from the betting perspective.
Yeah, that's a good call. So obviously we have to shout out our own tools. Anthony, you kind of cut out. I don't know if you're still talking, but
So
um,
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. So
all right.
because Anthony's on his phone and he has to hold it so close to his face so he can hear the audio, it's actually terrifying all of the children watching this because all we see is two like death stare eyeballs. So what I did to make it where you guys aren't in fear for your lives is I put my camera on top of Anthony's face so you no longer have to see the retinas of his eyes. So everything's gonna be going on. You can still ask questions. Anthony's still gonna be talking, but because we had the technical difficulty of the phone, we're not gonna have AC's image uh,
Perfect.
here. So
Perfect.
so
Yeah.
continue, Ben,
Yeah,
with
this
what
is
you're
good.
saying, but for the
No,
greater good.
so we obviously have to shout out our own tools here at dfskarma.com, betkarma.com. If you want access to my core plays, Anthony's, Sam's, Matt, who won tons of money last year, dfskarma.com/NFL, I think is the exact link. But if you go to the website, go to the pricing, you can sign up for access to that. My FanDuel core plays are posted. DraftKings will be up after this. And then betkarma.com, I mean, you can get free access to the live trends, where the sharp money's coming in, where the public is at, all that stuff is free at betkarma.com. I can see this is so funny, but all right, I'm gonna go rapid fire through some of these questions, and then I'll kick to Anthony maybe for some, because some of them are piling up. So, Dubs, M. Brown, Pierce versus Cobb, Dotson, Aaron Jones in cash. I would lean. I think you have to play Marquise Brown in cash games today, so I would lean towards that. Kittle is out, Corey, correct? With Kittle doubtful, which San Francisco tight end is worth getting to for value? I don't love that whole situation, especially with the rain there. I guess like Tyler Croft is there, but it is raining pretty bad. I really like Eli Mitchell today, and I've kind of been working through that myself, like what to do with that with the weather. But I don't love the pass catchers in that game just because of the weather. So I'll probably pass on that. Let's see here. Robert Woods or Darnell Mooney. I don't really like either of those guys, but I would probably lean Woods, I guess. Given what I just said about the pass catchers in that game. CJ, DraftKings cash. Hurts, Njoku, Hollywood in the flex, or Winston, Bellinger, Jonathan Taylor. You cannot not play Hurts and Hollywood in cash, I think. So I would lean towards that combo. James says it's Christmas. It is. Dope hold music. Yeah, the music is good, Travis. I like what you had going with that. That is a good point. Ben solo pod. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that throughout the season or something. We'll see. Anthony, can you hear me, or are you here? Okay, all right. I'm gonna bring this next question to you. Favorite quarterbacks for 3 max entry.
Pat Mahomes, number one, without a doubt. Lamar. And, I mean, I think if you want to include your cash game, like Jalen Hurts is like the easy button for, kind of cash games. But I like Herbert a lot. Like, I actually thought that game was going to be more popular. Frankly, I think the Chargers could absolutely kill the Raiders. I think the Chargers' defense is way better than we think. I just like the Chargers, by a lot in that game. Herbert, obviously, as well.
Yeah, so I ended up, like I said, I've made more teams than I usually do. I ended up with a lot of Hurts, a lot of Herbert, a lot of Kirk Cousins, and then like some one-offs. Absolute legend of this Sunday stream, Sierra Man is in the chat. Anthony, he's back again. I need to get in contact somehow with Sierra Man and talk to him.
Here, man, this guy's been here for like 7 years with us.
Yeah, there's no Sunday morning stream without Sierra Man, but he says thoughts on Kamara and Mitchell for Fanduel tournaments. Anthony was kind of talking about Kamara before I got on here. He asked me about him, so I think he's interested there. I do think he's interesting. I really like Mitchell today, Anthony. Do you have any takes on Mitchell? I mean, weather aside, like I think it's a really good spot.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and I noticed you and Sam were pretty high in Mitchell. I don't know if Matt was. I got through most of the pod, but I saw in your guys' content you guys both like Mitchell. I don't know if it's just a gut call, but I don't really have any exposure to him. Like, dude, if he goes off, I'm dead, I guess. I mean, I don't think he's going to be high owned, but I guess that was like kind of the big disagreement I had with your and Sam's content this week was I don't see it in that game. I just don't trust that game in general.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable, I guess.
Kamara, I think, is kind of going like totally overlooked this week. People forgot about him or something over the offseason with him potentially getting suspended. And there's a lot of good running backs this week, so I think Kamara is absolutely in play. I'm kind of going overweight Kamara actually on both websites, Fanduel and DraftKings.
Darren says, welcome back. DraftKings running backs for cash. I think Barkley is probably a lock, and I think McCaffrey's a lock. So what you're like for cash only. But I think what you're doing after that, you're deciding if you want to play 3 running backs or 4 receivers. I think there's value in both builds. I'm going 4 receivers, but I think Aaron Jones is kind of getting steamed here. I think he's going to be pretty high owned on DraftKings. And then Najee Harris is projecting for a lot of ownership. I don't really like Najee much today. But Aaron Jones versus like a Justin Jefferson, I think is like a conversation you could have for cash games. Anthony, do you have a take on that, like between Jones and Jefferson for cash on DraftKings?
I think it's like Jones by like a mile. Like, I know you're all in on the Vikings. I get it. He's probably going to do well. I do worry a little bit about Jair Alexander. Maybe you can rebuttal there and tell me that you're not worried about it, which you're probably going to tell me they're bringing the West Coast offense scheme. He'll probably be in the slot. He probably will. I don't know. I mean, I got exposure to that game. I'm just probably more underweight than you are, Ben. So it kind of is what it is. And then, yeah, I agree with you on Harris. Listen, the one mistake I made last year was I didn't get enough. I'm talking about season-long Cincinnati stacks. I just feel like it's so easy, like to always have a bullet. You're talking about like you made a bunch of lineups this week, Ben. Nobody's playing the Bengals stack this week. I feel like the Chase and the Higgins with the Burrow. Like, if they go off, it's going to be through them. It's going to be concentrated. And then, yeah, the easy run back is with Harris. So I got my exposure there, but I really don't have much Harris at all other than, if that stack were to go off.
Yeah, I don't have much Bengals, but they're in that tier of you can stack them every week, and that's the exact type of situation that we do like to stack because you know exactly where the ball is going, and it's T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Corey asked Wan'Dale Robinson or Romeo Dubs. I would, if it's for cash, I would lean Dubs. I really don't want to play much of these rookies though. If I don't have to, like the pricing on DraftKings.
Ben, I'm gonna jump in and say that I have the lineup optimizer pulled up. So if there's any kind of reference you guys want to do to projections portal optimizer, I can throw that up on the screen as well to circumvent more nightmares.
Yes, that would be helpful. But I don't like a lot of these rookies today. I think if I was playing one rookie receiver, I would probably pick Jahan Dotson, but I don't know. I'm probably just a little bit lower on that. Favorite GPP game stack? For me, I want to say probably the Chargers Raiders, I think. Anthony, what's your favorite game stack?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go with the Hurts and even the Mahomes as much as I like the Mahomes because I think they're both gonna be highly owned. And man, I feel like for like a leverage situation, like I'm gonna stick with the Cincinnati. Right? There's gonna be so many weeks. All of us are gonna be playing Cincinnati stacks. Like, again, that's something I'm trying to do different with my game this year is get exposure to some of these high octane offenses when they're lower owned. So, I mean, I guess I'll just stick with that. Also, Ben, I was thinking about this, looking at some of the projections that Treppis was just talking about. People are talking about Josh Dawson, and I think he's a good play. 3,400 on DraftKings. I don't know what his price is on Fanduel or Owner's Box, but did we all forget about Terry McLaurin? I mean, no one's going to play him this week. I do have exposure to him in some of the Fanduel lineups I was building actually on our optimizer, just because if people are playing Dawson, like I want exposure to the guy, that we all know has that high ceiling, and I don't think anyone's going to play him this week.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it. I don't make enough teams to get there. Gabe says Sam and AC are still using AOL. That is actually factual. Sam, I don't know. AC at least has some built-in excuse because he's in a car. Sam has just like no hope at this point. I have no idea. I couldn't imagine having Sam and AC both on this stream right now. I would be just tilting my face off. But Corey, what's up? Love Kansas City. Yeah, I think Kansas City obviously is one of the better spots. Best single entry quarterback this week. For me, I think it's between Herbert and Kirk Cousins. I mean, Herbert was like the number 2 quarterback in fantasy last season, and he really doesn't have that built-in rushing upside that like a Hurts or a Josh Allen has. So it's pretty crazy that he puts up the numbers he does. But I think that game could shoot out, especially with J.C. Jackson out for the Chargers. I think the Raiders are going to put up points. So I would probably go with Herbert, but I don't know. There's a couple other guys right in that conversation. Go ahead.
You're talking about single entry GPP again, just kind of going back to what I was saying about Burrow. Like, let me take another step back. Like, why not go with kind of what I was explaining before the pod? Sticking with Mahomes, like I mentioned, the bet. I just like that game in general, fading Kelsey and then double stacking it with Marquez, Valdes, Scantling, and a Hart. And then you can still get kind of chalk pieces around it to an extent, throwing in Nick Chubb or something like that, that somebody's going to be low owned, which I like Nick Chubb a lot this week on both sides.
So what I'm going to do here is I had a question from earlier in the week that somebody asked in Discord that I wanted to bring up because I think Anthony and I may be on opposing sides, and then I'll go ahead and I'll kind of relay the questions as well, so it's not just my beautiful face staring into Ben's beautiful face on the stream. But a question for owner's box specific that I know Anthony said one thing and I was kind of leaning the other way is for owner's box, because there's a super flex in owner's box, which means you can plug in any position, quarterback, receiver, tight end, doesn't matter, or running back as well. And then somebody asked in Discord, should you always try to go 2 QBs? I think Anthony said in Discord that, like, yes, always try to go two QBs, but based on the pricing, like, there has to be I feel like having that as like 100% answer, like, yes, always go 2 QBs when you have to pay down at so many positions. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible every single week until they do something crazy with the pricing to not do that. But I would assume, based on every running back being healthy, nobody's banged up or hurt yet through week 1 of being right now of the season, that paying up for these healthy running backs, for these stud receivers, and not having a quarterback in that super flex spot, I still feel like that is more optimal for week 1, or is there so many cheap players, bare minimum salary players on owner's box that...
Yeah, but Travis, I agree. I actually agree with you. I don't know if maybe I don't even remember. I remember the conversation. Discord
the
chat.
world is ending. We have that that's on stream. The world is ending. Anthony agrees with me. Everybody, cashing those life insurance policies.
Cash the ticket. I agree to an extent. I think how I was wording that was, I think the top 2 percentile type winning lineup is more than likely actually going to be the double quarterback. I mean, I think if you have a game that, ends 45-42, the winning lineup in that tournament, and again, that's, a very, high, low probability, but it's going to be the double quarterback. To your point, most of my lineups on Owner's Box, absolutely, like, I got to give Owner's Box credit because the pricing was tough, man. Like, I made a ton of lineups. In fact, I'm actually crossing the we're back in Ohio, so hopefully after the stream I can edit some of the lineups I have players out on. The pricing was tough. So I kind of like Owner's Box in that aspect where it's not like dummy proof, easy, every lineup's awesome. Like I kind of struggled making lineups to be honest with you, and I think that's what you're referring to. Like when I was doing the double quarterback lineups, like the rest of my lineup kind of was trash. I'm not going to lie. I'm just kind of hoping that I like accidentally hit on some of those low price guys on Owner's Box and then that actual game stat goes off. But I can tell you for a fact, I have lineups with Herbert and Carr, Mahomes and Murray, even a Hurts and a Goff. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have a couple of those lines, but you're right. Most of them is like stuff as many running backs in as possible. I think Ben brought this up. It's interesting to have multiple tight ends in a couple Owner's Box lineups because tight ends can bank 2 touchdowns a game, and it's like, random. Like Njoku, I have so much Njoku week 1 on Owner's Box. Ironically, I don't have enough of him on Fanduel and DraftKings, but I got a lot of him on Owner's Box. He's 4,400, I think.
Peter's asking for Owner's Box because I know that Anthony had some Discord challenge contest that if anybody out enters him in the main 100K GPP, that I think it's like $100 cash prize. Anybody that enters more lineups than him, you have to be in our Discord, of course, to win that. But Peter, aka Commission Discord, wants to know exactly as of right now how many lines do you have in, so he knows what he needs. So he knows what he needs to get that prize.
I got 33, but I did just cross back into Ohio, a legal state, so maybe I'll toss in a few more.
You broke up on that number. You say 30?
I have 33. I might
33, Peter.
I'm entering Ohio. So somehow
right,
it's
you can catch back in on. I'm not sure where you are on the question list of you guys keep these coming in because these guys are going to be answering questions the entire show. So even if it's going to take a couple minutes to get to them because we have so many people watching, just keep those questions coming in. But yeah, we can go and pick up where Ben left off on the.
And if we miss your question, just post it again. I'll get to it. I'm gonna go rapid fire
post
here.
It again in all caps with exclamation
Yeah,
points.
all caps. Dubs or Sky Moore, FanDuel value wide receiver. Don't know if I'd play any of those guys on FanDuel because you really want touchdowns, but it's Dubs, I think, if you're picking one. DraftKings running backs cash. I think we answered that one. Cordell Patterson today. I'll pass for me. Can we trust Tony in cash on DraftKings? Darren, this is a good question. So Kadarius Toney is projecting for pretty decent ownership, top 6, 7 at the wide receiver position. I think last time I looked, maybe top 10. I don't like that play. I think with early in the week, people were more looking at Toney and Wandale because Sterling Shepard was supposed to miss, but he's going to be back and he's playing. And I think that does affect things. So I'm not playing any Giants this week except for Saquon Barkley. So I would pass on Toney in
I have
cash.
a Wandale Robinson dart, Ben. I mean, 3K. He's probably going to get a couple.
Yeah.
Darts, I mean, he could. I like him a lot. I got a ton of him.
I hate. This is me personally. This could be a complete wrong take. Wandale could score 2 touchdowns today or something, but I hate betting on people that like. I'm not even joking. I think Wandale Robinson is like my size. Like it's insane. I don't know like how he is going to like be good, but
yeah.
I mean, obviously he was great in college, but I just think it's a little bit different. But we'll see what happens. Like you said, min price, he doesn't really need to do much, so that's fine. DraftKings tight ends for cash. I think you're looking at Kelsey is going to be really high owned. Dallas Goedert, Irv Smith. Those guys are all projecting well. I don't ever hate just like a pure punt in cash because I do that quite often. Like I think Brevin Jordan is really cheap. He's 3,100. Not going to be owned, but I think he could get in that mix. Oliver Bellinger. No, I'm passing on Bellinger because he's on the Giants. Brevin Jordan, yes, much better than Bellinger. Anthony, here's one. Juju, Michael Thomas, Elijah Moore. He needs 2 of them.
Juju and man, you can't trust Michael Thomas right now. I don't think.
Yeah, if this is like season long, it's Elijah Moore for me. I know a lot of people have said this, like this is like lazy, but the last time that we saw Joe Flacco start at quarterback for the Jets, Elijah Moore caught 8 balls for 140 yards and a touchdown. I think the Ravens defense is going to be much better this year, but I think for like a season long, it's Juju and it's Elijah Moore. Happy Sammy Watkins Day from Luke. Yeah, I like Sammy Watkins a lot. No one else is really like with me on this. I don't know.
I put him in the lineup because you.
Yeah, you said you were going to play, but Yeah, so this came out like a month ago, right? Because Romeo Dubs was like absolutely lighting up Packers preseason games. He was playing well at training camp, but apparently like all the rookie guys, because they drafted Christian Watson pretty high as well. Apparently all the rookie guys that they had were just struggling with drops and stuff. And so like Aaron Rodgers like called this meeting and he was like with all the young receivers and like I guess he had like said to like coaches like that he wanted the starters to be Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Sammy Watkins and not any of the rookies. But then we got this news coming out that like Alan Lazard is going to be out. And I don't know, man. I don't like to go against the universe, right? I believe that the universe does things in mysterious ways, and for whatever reason, Sammy Watkins has to go off every week one. It happens like every year. Like that one year for the Chiefs, he had like 200 yards and like 1 or 2 touchdowns, and then literally did nothing the rest of the year. Like for whatever reason, week one he has to go off, and then this Lazard injury just pops up, and it like the stars are like aligning. I don't know. And he's not going to be owned. I mean, Romeo Dubs is going to be higher owned. I think Randall Cobb is going to be higher owned too.
Yeah.
We have Kid from Akron, who's been one of our viewers for, I don't know, Kid from Akron, like 6 years now. You're always in here, always in Discord. He did ask his question all caps again, like we asked. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one up here. In a Viking stack, Cousins, JJ. Is that smart to run it back with Jones and Dillon if you're playing in the Millie Maker, of course, trying to get that first place prize?
I don't think I would play 2 running backs from the same team. I just don't think I can do that. One of them I think is fine. I'm not really playing like Millie Maker type contests, but I think I had 2 or 3 Kirk lineups. One of them was both Thielen and Jefferson with Sammy Watkins, and then one was I think Jefferson with Aaron Jones. I didn't have much AJ Dillon, but I think he's a good play for like larger field stuff like a Millie Maker. So like if you're saying like you're building a lineup like that, like maybe instead of Jones, just use AJ Dillon. Like hope that AJ Dillon gets goal line carries and he could catch some passes as well. AJ Dillon is a good pass catcher. So maybe just use AJ Dillon instead of Jones, who's going to be much higher owned.
Something I want to say too. So I know we always do the housekeeping at the beginning of the streams, but because, we have twice as many people now tuning in that we're at the very beginning. I just want to address again that you have from now, which is 11:37 a.m. Eastern time, till I would say probably 12:55 p.m. Eastern time. So with probably another hour left, Owner's Box is giving everybody who's watching this a free entry to their $100,000 contest. We've had these whatchamacallem, these billboards here, these banner ads to the left of the screen. These, if you haven't been paying attention to them, are saying all the free stuff you're getting for week one. So you have the $500 deposit match. You have the free Lightning lineups entry, which if you don't know anything about that, it's a brand new mode. It's not like anything else. For Thursday Night Football, I won like $3,200 playing it, just solely doing what Ben told me to do. You're not versing anybody else. You're not trying to beat anybody else. It's versing the house game. But the main thing I want to harp on again, for those who are just tuning in right now and missed the beginning part, if you could go to ownersbox.online, OWNERSBOX.online. I'm surprised I spelled that correctly after the night I had last night, but hey, we spelled it right, ownersbox.online. Use promo code KARMA, $500 deposit match, free entry to the $100,000 contest for week one, which is a $20,000 first place prize, and then, of course, a free Lightning lineups entry as well. So if you can do both at the same time, keep this up. YouTube has that ability now where you can have it up on your phone and then do something else on your phone at the same time. I'm not sure what that's called, the always on. But make sure you guys do not forget, before 1 p.m. Eastern time, do not miss that free entry. You're not going to be giving away free entries to their main GPP every single week. So claim this one. Get that $20,000 prize for doing nothing but signing up. And then, I'll let Ben and AC continue the questions there. Just want to make sure we harped on that.
Yeah, the Lightning lineups, like, seems really soft, like, early on, like you said. You had a ton of success with that on Thursday night. I think AC is gone, to be honest. But I'm going to go through these.
He probably is under some
tunnel
or something.
Okay, he's back in here now, but for a minute his camera disappeared, and it, like, affected my camera.
Yeah,
and
doing
before
the
the
same thing
stream,
right
Yeah, well, before the stream, I told Anthony I lit a candle to clear out all the bad vibes. So Anthony
Anthony
left
clearly
the
is
call.
blowing that candle out.
Yeah. So look, he left it again. So it just goes to the candle. It's like perfect. But all right, I'm gonna go through these questions here because we got some stacking up. Damien Pierce over Christian McCaffrey. I don't know what kind of question this is. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Those guys are not even close in price. So no, I'm not playing Damien Pierce over Christian McCaffrey. Prioritize CMC or Jefferson and Cash on DraftKings. Ryan, Christian McCaffrey.
Was he asking one or the other, or is he asking for both of them?
I don't know. I don't know what that question was. Whoever asked that question, re-ask it in like a manner that I can like understand what you're saying. CMC or Jefferson and Cash. I think DraftKings you have to play CMC because of his price. He's gonna be really high owned. Melissa, welcome. Any weather concerns? There is some weather in Chicago, so I wanted to talk about that before I got back onto the questions, but we got sidetracked. So I really like Mitchell today, but man, I don't know. This weather is scaring me. The rain is the heavy rain is supposed to be gone by around the time the game starts, but they have like a tarp on the field. But I'm seeing videos and like pictures, like people are sending them to me right now, and there's like an inch of like standing water like on the field. I don't know. It looks weird. I'm gonna have to dive into that after this stream and figure out if I need to take not all of my Mitchell out, but some because I'm like heavy on Elijah Mitchell, so I might have to take some of that out depending on that weather. Randall Cobb or Jahan Dotson for cash. Aaron, that is a sharp question because I'm dealing with that same. I'm dealing with that same thing. Anthony, who do you like between those two? I think Cobb's a little bit safer, right?
You know I was going to say Cobb. I actually have Cobb in my cash games on DraftKings. I just trust, like you said earlier, Ben. Like
I have Cobb too right now, I think. So
I just
Anthony's speaking alien.
Yeah,
Ben will translate that shortly.
AJ Dillon, Kirk, or Michael Thomas for a PPR flex. I go with AJ Dillon, Eric. I think that is a pretty easy call, actually. Imagine Ben is the number 2 receiver on the Giants. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be good, obviously. Don't think I'm built.
You were saying that.
I don't think I'm
no,
built
that's
for
from
the
something
NFL.
you were saying like 5-10 minutes ago. He's like, he's like my size, and I was like, Ben is 6'3", 240 pounds of muscle. So, in other words, you want to play this guy in every lineup.
Yeah, I'm not exactly built for NFL football. So when someone is like literally shorter than me, that's not good.
That being said, I do have a video of Ben in where was it? In Atlanta kicking a field goal. So we're gonna post on Discord. I still have it on my phone.
I could be a kicker. I mean, that's for sure.
Ben is an NFL kicker. He
I'm good at
a
kicking.
65-yard or something crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good at kicking. You don't want me coming across the middle. I'd probably die. To be honest. So,
we have to make that happen now.
David says this is my first stream with you guys. Welcome. What are the thoughts on Tua? Oh, Travis, do you want to talk about Tua? I think the Dolphins could have a good day here.
Are we talking about week 1? I don't know about today. I mean, he's not going to do bad today, but I don't think he's DFS. I don't know. I'm not looking at anybody on the Dolphins that's not catching 1,000 passes a day. So pretty much just Waddle and Hill. I don't even know about Gesicki. He's on a few of my season-long fantasy things, but I'm not even touching him right now because I got to see what his share is with all 3 of them on the field throughout an entire game. But I mean, over the course of the season, I mean, Tua probably going to get MVP, probably based on statistics. We're going to get the Super Bowl championship, but if you're playing DFS today, I mean, nobody else is going to be playing him if you're trying to differentiate your lineup. But I would not. I just got a notification that Jacoby Myers has been upgraded to active. I don't know if that was an issue or a concern of anyone, but ESPN just shot that to my phone. But I am not touching any Dolphins because I don't know what that offense is going to look like through 4 quarters yet with the new addition of Hill.
Yeah, I think for like tournaments though, that's why you would want to bet on it, right, Anthony? For like a larger field, like maybe bet on like them throwing a lot or something and like get like Tyreek or Waddle in there.
Like nobody's playing Tyreek Hill this week. I mean, what? When does that ever happen? I mean, who
George
cares?
Kittle is officially inactive. As these notes are happening on these notifications, I'm going to read them out, but I don't know if for Anthony and Ben if that was already a concern or not, but officially inactive, George Kittle.
Yeah, we knew that one. See here, full PPR, Anthony, full PPR, Valdez Scantling, Edwards-Helaire, or Zeke?
I mean, Zeke, you just have to, you know. I mean, I like Scanlon a lot this week. I have a lot of exposure to him, but, you know, I feel like Zeke is safer.
Yeah, Corey, Dubs, or Wandale. I think I'm taking Dubs there. Bo, I think this is Anthony's boy, right? Is St. Brown a DraftKings cash play? I think he's fine for like a Hertz bring back, but I would not play him over Hollywood Brown in cash games.
Who's that, Ben? I didn't hear who the
St. Brown. So I'm on Ross St. Brown from Detroit.
Yeah, I love him. I played so much of him last year. He's definitely in one of my big single entry GPPs with, you know, Hertz on the bring back.
Trying to jam in Taylor, CMC, Saquon in cash, but not seeing a path to get both Pittman and Hollywood. Yeah, I don't think that's the build for cash this week. I think you pick one of Taylor or CMC, and then Saquon. You get Hollywood, you get Pittman at receiver, and then you can figure out like what you want to do with the rest of your lineup. If you could still get like an Aaron Jones in for running back, or you know you could do something else. But I don't think Taylor and CMC is the route to go this week personally.
Are we going to see an AJ Green 2-touchdown game today, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I think that could probably happen, to be honest. Anything weird could happen in that game. Yeah, no one's going to play James Conner either, which I think is interesting. I don't think James Conner's very good, but he does have a secure kind of like red zone role. And I know a lot of people in like the season-long circles are high on Eno Benjamin, but that's not going to happen week one. So I think in like the best game environment on the slate, like no one playing James Conner. I don't even think I had any James Conner.
Are you saying that you believe that Eno is going to take over?
No, just that's like people that play a lot of best ball, like they all like wanted like Eno late, like in case of something.
Connor in like two very important leagues, and so now you put fear into my heart.
Yeah, well, hope Connor starts off like really really hot, and then try and like sell him off. That's probably what I would do. Thomas, Watkins, Renfro, or MVS. Juan, I don't know what like format. If you're asking DFS season long, whatever, I would say probably like Renfro is the safest of those guys, but I like Watkins and MVS a lot. Do you agree with that, Anthony?
Nobody's gonna play Renfro this week. Just thinking about it, you know.
Yeah, he's a good like bring back in like a Hertz team, or like even if you don't want to full stack that game, like if you just have like a Mike Williams or somebody in your lineup, just getting him in there too, I think makes sense. Tyler Algier, healthy scratch. Yeah, that's not that shocking to me like early on in the season. Marquez Callaway, no, they got too many guys over there now, man. Landry, Olave, Michael Thomas is back. Pass on that. This is an interesting one from Kamish here in Discord. Can we get a survivor pool advice? Anthony, who's your pick for survivor pool? So how I play survivor pools would be like really trying to just avoid the like the trappy type games or like bad weather, all types of stuff. So I liked Ravens. I liked Ravens, I think, if I had to pick one team.
Yeah, I actually did find one of my friends. I'm in a pretty big high dollar survivor pool, and like I was actually surprised 70% of the picks were on the Ravens, which I agree with. We have two entries. We got one on the Ravens, one on Indy. I just feel like Indy is not losing that game. There is, if you look at Bet Karma, you can see betkarma.com on the live trends tool that there is money coming down on the Texans. That doesn't always mean everything, but it is interesting to see. I do think the Texans might score a little bit more than the people think. I don't know about the spread, but you know, for Survivor, it's pretty safe in my opinion.
Yeah, Travis, do you have a Survivor pool pick? I will say, Peter, if you want if Peter wants the big brain play, like just this is how I play. Like I don't care about anything. Like just play the Vikings, dude. Like YOLO, you get a team that you probably don't want to use the rest of the year out of the way, and I do think they are going to win this week. But that would take some balls, I think.
I was gonna actually say exactly what Anthony was saying, which was funny. I like I said that whenever we're on the same page, the world is ending, so it doesn't make any sense.
Dude,
But I was gonna say that what I do for my own research is I would find 3 teams I like for that week. That of course I haven't, even if it's week 5, week 6, whatever. 3 teams that are available to me that I really like. Okay, I can go any of these 3, and then you go to the live trends tool and I say which one has the least amount of money for the other person to win, whether it's a mixture of money line, mixture of the other team covering the spread, and just look at the trends and see what the general public's going on. So if there's one team that has, let's just say 80% of the tickets on them to win, 80% of the money on them to win, but the other one has 60 and 60, so in other words, there's more money and there are more tickets on the other side for the opponent to win, then I'm not going to necessarily be playing that one because maybe there's something about that matchup that I'm not paying attention to. So I focus on the higher numbers on the live trends tool. Don't use it to find the teams to play. Find your teams to play, and then use it to determine out of the ones you like the most, which one is the best for that one there. And then something that Ben was mentioning earlier, I wanted to hash on again while we have a few more minutes here of the stream. When you ask a question between somebody and somebody else, or do you like this person, make sure you're putting the site you're playing on and the type of contest you're playing. Because if you just say, do you like this receiver or this receiver, we don't know if it's season long, we don't know if it's DraftKings Cash, if it's Owner's Box GPP. So the response you get is based on the contest you're playing. So it's different. Like if you're playing this kind of contest, the answer is going to be different than if you're playing that kind of contest. So make sure you put the exact type of contest in the questions. It'll be easier for us to give you a more exact answer. But Ben, continue, good sir. I saw that I just saw the question. I got Sean Blake's in here. He's like, wait, how tall are you, Ben? Because we were talking about the 6'3",
Yeah.
285 pounds of muscle, though.
I'm 5'11" if I got Nikes on
Ben,
on a
real
good day.
let me piggyback off what Travis was saying too. I know we got like 10 minutes or so left, so pump the questions. Ben will rattle them all off. Yes, we're on these live streams. We're here to help you guys, but don't forget, on both of our websites, we provide all this data that Travis was referring to. Like, we have an AI intelligence simulation stuff that helps project. So, we make things easier for you guys. Of course, you can hop in our Discord, talk to us, read the content as well. But the projections portal for DFS, you can click Fanduel and DraftKings, and you can just filter the columns like on projections or karma value. And that ultimately should be your decision maker for any coin flips, or you just want to kind of research. And then similar in Bet Karma, what I like to do, Travis already talked about the live trends and stuff. I love looking at the prop projection stuff, and again, there's a premium product to it, the prop comparison tool. And I actually use that almost for fantasy as well. Like I'm sure Ben does as well. Like I was just looking at the rushing props before I got on the car. And even though that's for the prop market, I was kind of like just thinking about things for DFS as well. So you can kind of use them intertwined. And the SPF predictor for all you prop players out there, again, that's our most widely used tool, betkarma.com. That's for all you prize pick players and monkey knife fight players. And again, we run the simulations, the projections, the answers to the test are there. You just need to click subscribe, and you can be checking this throughout the week if you don't have time to hop on the live stream or chatting in Discord. All right, Ben, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say real quick that I just pulled up the live trends tool on the stream. So just to go back what Commissioner was asking about the who should I go with. So I know that Ben has already mentioned these teams, but so if I go here, so the money line, of course, for those who aren't keen to betting, is you're betting on the team to win. So if you bet on this money line, you bet on that team to win. If you bet on that money line, you bet on that team to win. But what I'd first do is I just scroll down and I see, okay, which team has green highlights on the bet percentage and the handle percentage column. So I'm just scrolling down real quick. We have the Ravens, we have the Colts, we have the Broncos. So those are the only 2 teams that have 75% or higher on both sides. So I did mention that you do want to use you want to figure out the teams before you come to this, but there is the opportunity to just go straight to this and kind of figure out based on where the public is betting to determine which team you want to play. But yeah, this is a free tool, and then I think what Anthony was saying, the AI stuff we have. If you go to the odds comparison, this is currently free to view. I'm not sure if it's going to be free to view the entire season, but definitely for week 1, you can see the predictions right here. Click the money line, and this is what the predictions are saying is going to happen. There's a ton of historical data and models and a lot of just predictive analytics baked into what's spitting out this prediction column. So also use this as well. I know we said Baltimore, but technically, according to our models, Baltimore only has a 55% chance to win. But still, it's like that. Tennessee's got a 65%. So, long story short, there are tons of free tools on betkarma.com to use to figure out what team you want to go with in the Survivor.
Yeah. I think Tennessee, like, not disagreeing with everything you just said, I just think in general, I think Tennessee's kind of trappy today, so I would avoid them. I do want to point out, if you guys read my free article on betkarma.com, I bet the Minnesota Vikings, they were underdogs. They're now -3. So let's discuss that. But Tristan, super chat, $10 on YouTube. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Do you like Connor as a low-owned tournament play today? Yes, I was just talking about that. I think in general, he has a really secure role to start the season. It's the best game on the slate, and no one is going to play him. And he does get, like, Kyler is a threat to steal some, like, red zone looks, but he has a really secure red zone role as well. And I think he's really, really interesting. Not only even, like, in a game stack, if you're just not even playing that game, like, just getting Connor as your low-owned piece of that game, and you have, like, some chalkier stuff around him, like Hurts or whatever, I think that's a really good call. I definitely think you should get some Connor if you're building more than one team today. Edmonds or Miles Sanders? I like Miles Sanders a little bit today, Anthony. Do you like some Miles Sanders? I think Miles Sanders is a good play.
I actually did put him in one of those, like, not high dollar, but 3 max entry GPPs because everybody's playing Jalen Hurts. So again, I talk about this in Discord all the time. You guys both know it. It's nauseating, but you do need to have that exact type scenario. The slate where it's so easy to predict, but because again, you can just look at our content or the projections portal. Jalen Hurts is mega chalk. So is Goddard. AJ Brown will be owned, but nobody's going to own Miles Sanders. I mean, he is an elite talent. He's not what we all thought he would be, but if he binks 2 touchdowns today, everybody's going to be tweeting on the Twitter machine that, oh my God, we're getting trolled by Miles Sanders. So I think it's formidable to have some exposure somewhere, even if it's for a few bucks.
We got 56 minutes into the NFL season of live streams without Anthony saying Twitter machine, and I thought
how about that?
I thought this was the year that we could go flawless, but 56 minutes is as long as it lasted.
We were on a great pace.
Oh my
all right, we got like
gosh,
four-ish more minutes left. Pound those questions, and we're gonna go rapid fire. DraftKings cash, Hollywood and Ertz both, or do you fade Ertz? I would not play Ertz in cash games, personally. PPR, Mike Davis or Cordero Patterson. You got to go Patterson. I think I just don't want to trust the Ravens thing. Like, Mike Davis could come out and be the guy and, rush for 70 yards and a touchdown. He could play behind Kenyon Drake. Like, it's just an unknown. Patterson, I don't think is great, but at least we know, like, he's going to be on the field a lot. Mike Davis or Hines.
I know you want to do the rapid fire thing real quick, which we're going to do here in a second. But since we have still a ton of people tuning in, and there's a few minutes of rapid fire going to be happening now. If you have not yet, make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, where majority of you guys are right now, click that thumbs up button, like the stream itself, and then make sure you're subscribed to this, because we're going to be doing these every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Every Sunday throughout the season. So make sure you're subbed to the channel on YouTube. And then make sure you click the thumbs up as well, which I only see a small percentage of you have. So thanks for you guys. But if you haven't yet, and you're one of the 600,000 people watching, click that thumbs up button. Back to rapid fire.
Mike Davis or Hines, PPR. Roman is a Dolphins fan as well, Travis. So that's good for you. But that's tough, man. I would say Mike Davis over Hines. I think I just don't know. Like, Hines, I do think might have a little bit bigger role this year, but I mean, are they really going to need him, like, against Houston, like, throwing wise? I don't know. I'd probably go Mike Davis. Dewan says they just showed Chicago and the field looks super wet. Yeah. So while Travis and Anthony were just talking, I was trying to look into that a little bit. The field does look very, very wet, but I don't know. Anthony, what's your take on that? This might make me like Mitchell even more. And, like, they made their rookie Tyrion Davis-Price. He's inactive, so they have 3 backs active, which is kind of standard for San Fran. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how does Mitchell not get, like,
I know. I think
over 20 carries now? Like, I think he was going to anyways. The dude smashed as a favorite last year. And I don't know why people don't think he's going to be the guy. But the rain, like, I might like it more now. Like, they're just going to run even more than they already were going to.
Listen, you've been on Mitchell freaking all week. I mean, I don't know how, what your allocation is dollar-wise. But, yeah, you got to continue to just I agree with you. I mean, I'm not on him like you are, so we have some disagreement there. I think it's just because I think about those heavy rain games as 8 guys are going to be stacking the box and daring Trey Lance to throw. That's just kind of how I'm thinking about it. But again, I could be wrong. I don't have much Mitchell exposure.
Yeah, I gotta think about it after this. I have him on quite a few tournament teams, so I'll have to think about it. Any Kadarius Toney, I'm out on Tony Jack. Personally, I don't think he's a good play this week. Yeah, I don't know. This field does look crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. DraftKings wide receiver for cash. I think Pittman and Hollywood you pretty much have to play in like a cash lineup. Outside of those two, Anthony, like who do you think is on the DraftKings cash list here? We'll go this question and then like one or two more.
For wide receiver?
Yeah, wide receivers for DraftKings cash.
I mean, nobody's going to play him. We didn't mention this at all, but I love Keenan Allen. You know me. I kind of like always play Keenan Allen, but I actually have a question for you, Ben, on this rapid fire. Fanduel pricing. They're essentially the same price point, right? Pittman versus Keenan Allen. Serious debate for me right now. Who would you pick?
I would probably pick Pittman, but that's only because me personally on FanDuel, I'm playing Mike Williams. Like he scores touchdowns. He's relatively cheap. I like him this week. So I don't want to play both of them. If you don't have Mike Williams, I think that's a conversation, but I think typically like Keenan is better on DraftKings, right, than he is FanDuel.
So something I was going to jump in and say, I completely forgot about what time it was, is that Jock Market. So another one of our partners that we play a ton on, especially myself, Jock Market, the lock for Jock Market on Sundays is 12:30 p.m. So when every other site out there is like 1 p.m. lock, Jock Market's lock is at 12:30. So if you are playing that with us this year, T-Rex and myself won over $50,000 in NFL on Jock Market last year. If you're following the plays, if you're in the channels, learning how to play this, the lock is at 12:30. So make sure you have all of your shares and your bids in by, I would say, 12:28 p.m. I completely forgot about that. I was like, oh crap, I thought it was 12. So yeah, make sure you do that. And then I know we mentioned this at the beginning, we mentioned the middle, but since we only have another minute left here, if you have not claimed your free entry, as you see to the freaking banner to the side of my face, you have a free entry. Every single one of you that's in a valid state, which is most of the states in the United States. There's a free $100,000 entry, $20,000 to first place. You can get a free entry to that. You can get a free entry to the Lightning lineups, which we showed you throughout the week. Is one of the easiest games that just came out on Owner's Box to win money on. And of course, you get a $500 deposit match. Go to ownersbox.online, sign up, create an account, quickly deposit whatever you want to. Just use promo code KARMA so you get that deposit match, and then get your free entry and get your lineup in. You have 58 minutes, if you have not yet, 58 minutes to claim your free entry to the 100K Week 1 contest on Owner's Box. Ownersbox.online. All right, a few more questions here.
Yeah, a few more questions, and we'll head out of here. I'm going to be in Discord. If you guys have more questions, you can get into the Discord. You won't get the premium channels, but you can get in Discord for free. I'll be in there before lock. But Aaron Shank, Eli Mitchell, over 15.5 rushing attempts. Take that to the bank, Aaron. Take that to the bank, over 15.5 rushing attempts. St. Brown, Hall, or Michael Thomas for a flex and half PPR. Give me St. Brown. And Mike Davis or Jarvis Landry at the flex in PPR, Anthony.
Oh, man. I feel like you got to be Jarvis Landry.
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I think I don't know. I don't know, man. I guess probably Landry, but I don't know. I do think of the Saints guys, the most likely one to have the tough matchup against AJ Terrell is probably Chris Olave. So Landry and Thomas, I think, are fine. If you need to start them, I just don't want to play a ton of Olave, even though I really like Olave. I think that's a really tough matchup to start out with. All right, I think we've answered pretty much all the questions. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be here every single week, 11 a.m. We'll be doing this. We'll be answering all your DFS questions, season long, whatever. Be sure to head to dfscommer.com. Check out all of our free content. Travis was talking about Owner's Box, Jock Market. We have free content for that. I'll have a Jock Market article out later for the Sunday night market, for the Sunday night game tonight. And there's other free content on there as well for DraftKings, FanDuel, every site that you're playing on. And like I said, the Discord's free. Hop in there. You can ask me more questions before lock. I'm going to go dive in and figure out what I'm doing with this Elijah Mitchell news. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.